Hey everybody, John here. If you're watching, first of all, thank you. Second of all, it means that I am now 30 years old. I've done a lot in 30 years, but I also feel like I'm just getting started. So I'm actually pretty optimistic. So we're gonna get sentimental in this video. I usually don't do it. But what I wanna do is the 30 at 30, which means from 1993, the year I was born, until this year, 2023, I am going to list my favorite songs of each year, or favorite music moments of each year. There's obviously going to be some years that I don't remember. There's going to be some years that blend in with each other. So sometimes it's going to be my favorite song from that year, and sometimes it's going to be whatever I remember really loving, something that really influenced me from whatever year. So let's jump right in. 1993. I don't remember anything. I was just being born that first day, that first time. But U2 released an album called Zooropa. It's one of my favorite albums ever. I love that album. And the best song on that album, in my opinion, is Stay. Stay is a gorgeous song. I think it was made for a movie. It's a wonderful tune. So Stay is the year that I was born, 1993, my favorite song from there. 1994, now remember, I don't remember these songs, and I do gotta give a shout out to Juicy by Biggie, which became a big part of my life after when I got older. But 1994, I do have to say, my favorite song from that year is Live Forever by Oasis. We owe Oasis a whole lot, and they're going to pop up on this list again. And if you know anything about us, you know that we're huge Oasis fans. Another song that could have been there, Cigarettes and Alcohol, which really made me think that I could be a musician and a rock musician at that, and a lead singer. So thank you to Oasis. Hey everybody, edit number 1. 1994, I gave Live Forever the song of the year. But we're doing music moments of the year. And definitely maybe the whole album belongs there. So I am cutting myself off and saying 1994 belongs to Definitely Maybe. And while we're at it, 1995, again, Oasis. It's probably going to have to be Don't Look Back in Anger. Some might say it's close because I remember playing that on Rock Band with my mother and brother. We had so much fun doing that, and they're beautiful memories. It's the whole album. The whole album. What's the Story, Morning Glory? 1995. 1996, As Long As You Love Me by the Backstreet Boys. It's, I think, their first single. Quit Playing Games With My Heart might have been their first single, but they were the first group that I was like really mesmerized by. After I heard Backstreet Boys, I knew I liked music. I knew I loved melodies and harmonies, but I didn't get that flash that I also kind of had. I feel like I do have a bit of an ego, and I think Matthew does as well. But I think that first flash that got me was NSYNC, and I think they were the first concert I've ever went to. Shout out to Daddy Mack, who got us into a bunch of stuff as well. But NSYNC was the first, like I said, the first big, like, oh, these guys look cool. Not only are they have good songs that I like, but they look really cool. I like the videos. I practiced the dance moves. I think I did that with Backstreet Boys as well. But NSYNC, I Want You Back, 1997. 1998. Now, this was really tough because there were songs that I liked from 1998, but I was really into those first two Backstreet Boys and NSYNC albums. And I couldn't, it seems like the other Backstreet Boys and NSYNC songs that came out that I liked back then came out a little bit later in like 99 and 2000. So I'm going to have to go with Listen Up by Oasis. Now this is kind of a cop-out, but I love this song. I can't believe that these were, the album that came out in 1998 was called The Master Plan, which is the better song out of the two now. But when I was a teenager, when I was really getting into Oasis, Listen Up was such a huge part of my teenage life, and a part of how I structure songs and structure guitar parts. And I just love this song so much. It's very sentimental to me. this song, Listen Up by Oasis. So Listen Up by Oasis is 1998. I know it's kind of a cop-out, I'm sorry, but that's just what I gotta do. My favorite song out of anything that came out in 99 is Role Model by Eminem, which is really tough because it's not my favorite, I should say, but it was the most influential at the time. It probably influenced me more than anything that came out in 99, just because the lyrics are so great. They're like hysterical. They're catchy. They sting you. They're brutal, and I really fell in love with that kind of rap after. So 99's Eminem. So I'm doing any editing for the video, and I just realized that there was a song from 2000 that I was obsessed with, that even though Beautiful Day by U2, which is what I originally picked, is such a better song. I'm not saying it's not about what's better, it's just about what I was into at the time. And The Way I Am by Eminem was without a doubt the song of the year of 2000 for me. I remember very vividly watching that music video of him falling down from jumping off the building and being like entranced by it. So that's the song of 2000. It's not a better song than U2, Beautiful Day, by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm editing. 2001. Now, as soon as I figured out that I wanted to do this was the easiest pick. 2001, it just popped in my head so quick. And it's probably the reason I even wanted to do this list. And it's one of the reasons why me and Matthew are musicians. And it's going to be The Modern Age by The Strokes. Actually, the whole album. Let's do because this is musical moments. And this is actually my list. I can do what I want. Is This It? The album. 2001. Just changed my life forever. It's the same thing that U2 and Oasis and the Beatles have done to my music career and just my whole life in general. It's really still, it's a perfect album. It's one of the it's one of the gems in my life. Is This It? By The Strokes. 2002. It was another. This was a bit tougher. They're starting to get tougher because now I'm starting to remember things. But 2002, I was just right on that cusp. Time for Heroes by the Libertines. Absolutely love that song. There was a couple different ways that could have went. Another song that pops in my head is Stop Crying Your Heart Out by Oasis, but we've given Oasis so much love already. The Libertines, this is going to be their only spot on here, but Time for Heroes, it just brings me back to a place where I would be in the back seat of a friend's car, and then we would all get drunk and we would drive around. Not the driver wasn't drunk. Like, you know, we listened to all these rock songs that influenced us so heavy. And Time for Heroes really, I mean, just encapsulates all of that angst, all of the whatever we were feeling at that time. So Time for Heroes is without a doubt going to be 2002. So at first in my head I go, oh, 1251, because 1251 is the same, by The Strokes. It's the same feeling that I get from Time for Heroes. We were going to house parties and drinking 40s. Me and my great friend, rest his soul, Mike Scrivani, we would sing this song all the time. Just walking down the street singing it. We loved it. We would text each other the lyrics. 1251 is such a beautiful song, but 2003, we're talking about the year 2003, it's gotta go. The 50 Cent album, Get Rich or Die Trying. And you can ask anybody in my family, I would listen to that song out loud in my house, the unedited version, at that age, the year that it came out. God damn, if this album still isn't one of the best rap albums of all time. Thank you, 50 Cent. All right, we're on 2004. So I want to give a shout out to All These Things I've Done by The Killers. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. Came out in 2004. Confessions by Usher. I remember asking my mother, not me, asking my mother to buy me the Confessions record, and I would sit in my room and listen to it quietly because in school you could admit that you like, yeah, but you can't really listen to like soft stuff back then when you were a little kid. And how old was I in 2004? I was 11. So that's like a real, you want to feel like a tough guy when you're 11. But secretly, and now not secretly, now it's just such a great record. Confessions, man. Some of them songs, Usher really. But if I had to pick one, Let It Burn. Seriously, I thought, and I was 11. I remember I felt so connected to that song. I felt like I felt like I was in his situation at 11. Usher, Confessions, Let It Burn. All right, 2005. This is one of my favorite all-time songs, and it's one of my favorite all-time albums. Late Registration by Kanye West came out in 2005. It is maybe my favorite rap album ever. I just absolutely love it, and my favorite song, it's not even my favorite song. I couldn't tell you my favorite song from that album. They're all excellent, but what popped into my head was Late. I love Late. That would be one of the songs in the car that we were listening to. It is just one of the coolest. It was before Kanye lost his mind. It was one of the coolest, smoothest rap experiences. That whole album is just fantastic, top to bottom. 2006. A shout out to the runner-up, which is, International Players Anthem, Outkast featuring UGK. Such a great song. I remember watching the video that year, 2006, laughing. I loved every minute of it. Every second of that video is great. Every lyric in that song is fantastic. The contrast between Andre 3000 with this gorgeous intro verse to the two pimps in the middle, and then it all ties in together the only way Big Boy could do it. Excellent song. Oh my Lord, it's so good. But Sam's Town by the Killers came out that year, and that's self-explanatory. It's hanging up on my wall. I don't know if you could see it. It's right there. It is one of my favorite albums ever. Definitely the best album of 2006, and it's definitely in my top 10. It's on my wall. So Sam's Town, that's 2006. 2007, it's going to start to get really tough from here on out. I have so many favorite songs that came out from 2007 and onward. I mean, even the Killers' Christmas song in 2007, I think it's Don't Shoot Me Santa. I think that's the one that came out in 2007. Unbelievable. I mean, it's just the best Christmas song ever. But Fluorescent Adolescent came out that year. It's such a pivotal moment for me. Favorite Worst Nightmare. Incredible. Kings of Leon. On Call. That whole record. Unbelievable. But it's Can't Tell Me Nothing by Kanye West. Some people are going to disagree with me on that because Fluorescent Adolescent is one of the best songs ever written. Kings of Leon, On Call, Black Thumbnail, because of the, what's that album called? Because of the Night. Just one of the best rock albums ever. Matthew actually just reviewed it, and so did I actually on the podcast, and I love it. But Graduation by Kanye West, phenomenal album, but Can't Tell Me Nothing, that's 2007. Sorry. And I am sorry because God, Arctic Monkeys and Kings of Leon, both of those albums are fantastic and they meant so much to me. But Can't Tell Me Nothing, I still listen to that so loud. Viva La Vida by Coldplay came out in 2008, and that might be my favorite album of all time. It's truly the last great thing Coldplay's ever done. Remember, I literally was like, there was like lore behind it I was creating in my own head when this came out. I was in prep charter. I was in sophomore year. It was my only year in prep charter, and I remember really, like, honestly thinking that Chris Martin was like a prophet. Like, I really did. Like, it's not being sarcastic. Viva La Vida is so fantastic. Oh, by the way, 2005, Fix You by Coldplay too. Such a beautiful song. But we're on 2008, Viva La Vida, that album, I just can't get enough of it. All right, 2009, sometime around midnight by the Airborne Toxic event came out that year, and golly, was I just it was just I was a little sappy back then. I started drinking, so a teenager just starting to drink didn't really know how to handle his emotions. So a sappy song like that comes out, and you just gravitate towards it, and it's still a great song to this day. Nothing against Airborne Toxic event. It was very important to me back then. And then you also got, Cornerstone by the Arctic Monkeys, Humbug. That whole album's great. But A Milli by Lil Wayne, come on now. Come on. A Milli by Lil Wayne. And now, I know the album came out in 2008, but Viva La Vida is not taking that. And I also didn't even really know, I don't think the single dropped until 2009 for A Milli. I could be wrong, but it's my list. A Milli, 2009, Lil Wayne, fantastic. 2010, Back Down South came out. Back in December by Taylor Swift came out that year. That was the first song I learned how to play bar chords to proficiently. So that song's important to me in that weird way. Devil in a Red Dress by Kanye, all those songs, fantastic. Shadow People by Dr. Dog is going to be my 2010 pick. Why? I literally, in some backyard, in some plastic chair, hoping these cigarettes could save us. Such an important line to me. We were literally in a backyard in plastic chairs. It was the most free time in my whole life. And that song really represents a lot to me because of all the friends. And the crazy thing is, Where Did All the Shadow People Go is the chorus. And I would say if there was 15 people in that backyard, I might talk to 3 of them now. So it really is a crazy song that represents a lot from that time in my life. 2011. I mean, I gotta keep giving shout outs. Shake Me Down. Fellas in Paris. I'm On One by Drake, the first Drake and maybe the last Drake on this list. Every Teardrop's a Waterfall. Love that song. Don't love the album, but I love that song. Under Cover of Darkness by The Strokes. Incredible songs. But Lonely Boy by the Black Keys kicked my ass that year. And the year after, I actually seen, this is how stupid I am. So we went to go see the Arctic Monkeys were opening up for the Black Keys at Wells Fargo Center in 2011 or 2012. I don't remember. And we left. It was because of me. We left after the Arctic Monkeys were done because at the time I didn't really care about the Black Keys. And boy, was I wrong. Why would I not stay? I still kick myself. And I've seen them afterwards a couple times, and they're incredible live, the Black Keys. So much fun. But it's a regret. One of my very few regrets. Lonely Boy, Black Keys, 2011. 2012. Are You Mine really set the pace. Really started to make me feel really cool. And then you got some hits. We Are Young, awesome song. Somebody That I Used to Know, awesome song. Swimming Pools by Kendrick Lamar, fantastic song. That whole album, Good Kid, Mad City, incredible album. Mercy, Lamborghini Mercy, awesome single. These Days by Dr. Dog, fantastic. And like I said, Are You Mine, so close. But Noel Gallagher in 2012 put out If I Had a Gun. And that is one of the best love songs of all time. It is a wonderful tune. The best song and my favorite song of 2012. 2013 might be the best music year of all time, in my opinion. These are the albums, not the songs, the albums, the full albums that I think are almost perfect or perfect that came out in 2013. You have Strike Gently by the Virgins, which is a phenomenal record. If you haven't heard of the Virgins, go listen to them right now. Cage the Elephant, Melophobia, unbelievable album, my favorite Cage the Elephant album. Modern Vampires of the City by Vampire Weekend, come on. Mechanical Bull by Kings of Leon, Almost a perfect record. And then you got the singles that came out. You have Broken Heart by Dr. Dog, The Truth by Dr. Dog, Royals by Lord. What a fantastic pop single. Blurred Lines. Say what you want about that song. I love that song. Just Hold On, We're Going Home by Drake. I mean, probably one of the best Drake songs ever. It's just a phenomenal pop song. But again, I'm 20 years old, and the Arctic Monkeys put out AM, and holy shit, did that change everything? Are You Mine really like kind of set the pace, but the full album is a perfect album. Made me feel the coolest I've ever felt. If you listen to the 1940s, you can really hear that influence on our EP called The Nightbirds. Definitely influenced by AM by the Arctic Monkeys. It's just a phenomenal record top to bottom. Modern Vampires of the City is very close because that is such a intricate, gorgeous, deep album that now I probably listen to more than AM. But when you're talking about influence, what was important to me in 2013, it was feeling cool, looking cool, listening to some cool shit, the coolest album maybe ever. AM, Arctic Monkeys. 2014. All right, I'm going to speed this up. So, Salad Days, Seasons by Future Islands. Holy shit, I remember seeing David Letterman live, seeing that performance with my father and brother, and talk about a song that changed my life, and I would listen to for years, still listen to it. Style by Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, every now and then, comes out with one of the best pop songs of the year. She just does. Second place is the Always album. It's their debut album. One of the best debuts of all time. It really is a phenomenal album. But when you talk about songs that are important to me, Song for Someone might very well be, I feel like I'm going to have a lot of wedding songs, but Song for Someone just almost perfectly fit the first couple years of me and my now fiance's relationship. Just one of the most important songs in my life. I'm going to play it to my children. Just one of the best love songs you'll ever hear in your life. Song for Someone, so important to me, and that's 2014. We had some bangers in 2015. We had The Hills, Sedona by Houndmouth. If you haven't heard of Houndmouth, go listen. Pistol Made of Bones by The Arcs. But Noel Gallagher put out an album, I think it's called Chasing Yesterday. His first album, 2012, that I was talking about earlier, If I Had a Gun. But If I Had a Gun overtakes that album. This album is such a more even album. Every song's really great. So Noel Gallagher, Chasing Yesterday is 2015. 2016, real quick, Mongrel by Alex Cameron. Fantastic. One of my favorite songs of all time. But 2016 belongs to the Last Shadow Puppets. If I had to pick a song, it'd be Aviation. But that whole album, everything you've come to expect, it's one of my favorite albums of all time. It is also on the wall. I don't even know where it's at on the wall. There it is. It's on the wall. Everything you've come to expect is one of the best records of all time. Should have won a Grammy for Best Album of the Year. A lot of the albums I talked about should have, but that's beside the point. Fantastic, beautiful, loud, vivacious songs. Every one of them. Fantastic. Oh my God. Might be my favorite album of the 2010s. All right, 2017. Every year is so tough for me. This is really insane how tough this is for me. And I do got my shitty list. And even that, I am changing my mind as I'm reading it. But the shout outs go Dr. Dog, Abandoned Mansion, Ran by Future Islands, On Hold by the XX, In Undertow, fantastic song by Always, just unbelievable. Landlady by U2 just reminds me so much of my fiance. It's another one of our thousands of songs because there's, you just start to accumulate them as they come out. But fantastic, excellent U2 song, Landlady. When it comes to songwriting, when it comes to what really changed the course of my musicality and Matthew's musicality. Alex Cameron, Forced Witness, is on the wall. You see it sticking out right there. And it's also autographed. We met them a couple times. They are absolutely phenomenal. Alex Cameron and his business partner, Roy Malloy. Forced Witness, co-written. Some songs co-written by Brandon Flowers from The Killers. He even put some background vocals on it. We performed True Lies at a charity event when we were the 1940s acoustically. And so that holds such an important another thing in my heart. So Alex Cameron, Forced Witness is my music moment of 2017. Thank God I found Alex Cameron. 2018, I could give some shout outs like Sicko Mode and there's other stuff, but it don't matter. It was completely owned by Tranquility-based Hotel and Casino, Arctic Monkeys. Really inspired me during COVID so much to you'll hear what it inspired soon. I can't think of it. It's one of the most important records to me. It's some of the most touching moments of music for me. We're going to do a review of this album. It's a perfect album for me. Matthew might disagree, but I can find something in every single song that's incredible, and I wouldn't change a single thing. Tranquility-based Hotel and Casino. Thank you, Arctic Monkeys. 2019, I'm gonna give a shout out to Can She Dance by Dr. Dog, great single. Ready to Let Go by Cage the Elephant, perfect song. Cocaine Country Dancing, this is where things started to take a turn again. Very important to me, by Paul Cathan. I think Paul Cathan, Cocaine Country Dancing, really made me go, oh, country can be real fucking fun. Country's rock with some twang. Country, this is America. Like, now I started to understand what Americana was. So, with all that being said, Harmony Hall, 2019. Harmony Hall, it meant so much. There was a lot of stuff going on in 2019. Before the pandemic, we had a pretty crazy scare in our family, which actually turned out okay. And we're all still coping, we're all still managing, but we're all alive, which is, and healthy-ish, which is like I'm super grateful for that. And Harmony Hall, really, like, it's one of those, it's almost like a beautiful day moment where it just makes you feel better. It really just brings you back up to where you gotta be. So 2020 was a weird year. Humanity kind of ended for a little bit and we got back on track, but it was still rough. We won't talk about it. Shout out to Dragon Ball Durag from 2020 by Thundercat. Excellent song. Shout out to The Adults Are Talking by The Strokes. Wonderful song, wonderful record. And it actually just reminded me that I didn't even mention Come Down Machine, which came out in 2013. 2013 is the best music year of all time. The Killers, My Own Soul's Warning. From start to finish, this song is just a non-stop adrenaline pump. The strings are crazy, the vocals are crazy, the lyrics are gorgeous. Song of the year, my favorite music moment of the year was My Own Soul's Warning by The Killers. It is obviously, I'm not saying nothing no one don't know, 2020 was difficult for everybody. And it was also, with all that added on, with all the stuff that was going on, it was also the end of me and Matthew's brainchild, the 1940s. The other members, we all amicably decided to call it quits, and me and Matthew went to venture on our own in 2021. We became the Mack brothers. How you know us now. It was also 2021. I've never been more inspired in my life. And Country Woman and Drinking and Work, the songs that we're starting to release were all written during this time, or most of them were at least. And it's weird to say, but I am actually grateful a little bit for being locked in. And also, I was getting drunk on a deck, looking at the stars, listening to Tranquility Base, listening to My Own Soul's Warning, and then listening to Leave the Door Open by Silk Sonic, which is Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. What a wonderful, absolutely sensual, beautiful song. One of the best pop songs in the past 30 years? I don't know. But that's not the song of 2021 for me. The song of 2021 for me is In the Car by The Killers. Brandon Flowers went to the town he was born in, which is somewhere in Utah, and he just wrote a concept album about it, which is another thing that inspired me to write a couple. Maybe we'll do a country album for a year. Maybe we'll write a concept album about how I used to be a street person. Maybe there's so many things that you could do. And not only that, the lyrics are just, for this, Brandon Flowers maybe his best lyrics ever. The song is just a treasure. In the Car, Outside by The Killers, the song of 2021. 2022, where we're getting close. I'm 29, I'm starting to evolve. My brain's still going, but it's so many opportunities open up for me. Bought a house. Did I buy a house in 22? I don't think I did. But moved out on my own for the first time. Really learned what it was like to be an adult and to be a grown-up for real. Right after the pandemic, I didn't do what a lot of people did, and I'm proud of myself for that. I hustled instead of waiting for a lot of things, and that's not knocking anybody that didn't, because it was a scary time. But people were scared, and I was, not to sound corny, people were scared, and I was hungry, and I wanted to change things, and I did, and I'm very grateful for the drive that I got. But we're not talking about that, even though I'm getting a little sentimental. It's my 30th birthday. What are you going to do? But we're talking about music. 2022 was a great year for music. Wilco, I've never heard of Wilco until 2022. I'm tired of taking it out on you. Now I'm a Wilco guy, a little bit. Champagne in a Limo by Paul Caithin. I told you I changed some things. Started to get a little bit of money. Started listening to some cool shit. I was listening to a lot of old Jay-Z. I was listening to a lot of Blueprint. I was listening to a lot of Pusha T. A lot of great Pusha T stuff that came out in the last couple years that I didn't put on here, but it could be on here. There Better Be a Mirror Ball by Arctic Monkeys came out. It really blew me away. The album of the year is actually Blue Rev by Always. This album, and I didn't realize it until like third or fourth listen, but now I'm on like listen 14. The album through and through is just fantastic. Everything's great. Belinda Says is the highlight without a doubt. It's one of the best songs in the past. It's definitely the best. I don't know if it's definitely. It's one of the best songs in the past 4 years. It's really phenomenal. And Always really needs more recognition. They're fantastic. And now we're on to this year. This year has not ended. And I do need to say that we've put out some of my favorite music we've ever made, because like I said, during the pandemic, we were inspired, and we were also, there was no time limit. We were so loose, and we came up with so many fucking songs that I love. And Country Woman and Drinking and Work, even though they're different from what we've always done, they are more us than probably Florida and Zombie are now, and it's not even close. Even if we put a little twang on it, I mean, we had more fun doing them than almost anything. All the band practices, we had more fun writing these songs. And the songs that are coming up after that, when we get out of our little, whatever you call this, our little folky phase, when we're out of that, these next 20 to 30 songs you're going to hear from us are some of our favorite things we've ever done. And so 2023, it's hard not to put my own music on there, but it's not what this is for. So the year that I turned 30, these are my favorite songs this year that came out so far. The Fooler by Nick Waterhouse. It's just a very nice, simple, smooth song. I listen to it a lot still, so on replay. This Is Why, the whole album by Paramore, but the song specifically, This Is Why, blew me away. But the song came out in 22, the album came out in 23. So it's tough to say that that's number one. But it's close by like the smallest little hair. My favorite song at 23 so far on my 30th year on this planet, it is Noel Gallagher, Trying to Find a World That's Been and Gone. It might be recency biased, but everything on this year is recent. It's this year. It is my favorite Noel song since maybe If I Had a Gun. It's such a nostalgic, beautiful song. The strings are perfect. It reminds me of those early sing a sad song kind of songs that he used to write, but with just the string arrangement of a Disney song. You'll hear me and Matt talked about it on the Monday Mack a couple weeks ago. It hit me so hard. It hit me like a fucking ton of bricks, that song. And it still does. I listen to it in the shower just to make sure I still believed in what I was about to say, and I do. Phenomenal. This has been a lot of stroking of my own ego. And if anyone's still watching, I am super grateful and super shocked. But this is just kind of a diary that I wanted to get out that hopefully someone will watch and get something from. It's kind of long. I don't do a lot of self things like this, and I don't do a lot of actual like talking sentimental and talking about feelings. I kind of almost let the music speak for that part of myself, but I'm a little sentimental. I'm 30. I'm very optimistic. I feel so good about where I'm at. I just feel really good, and I'm really grateful that everyone, that's very important to me, is still along for the ride with me. So, and hopefully you are as well. Hopefully you like and subscribe. It's been fun. I had a nice beer with you. I'm 30 now. Thanks for watching.